Hi, I'm Steve Thompson, president of Emory Thompson Machine.
I'm Christi Brown, vice president of sales and marketing.
And welcome to Questions Answered. I suppose you're going to go first?
Nope, you go first.
Oh, all right. I think I can do that. My first question and my third question are actually related, and the second one is kind of in there too. So at least I won't be talking about, getting horrible diseases from red dye 40 or something like that this week. Let's see. Lynn Ray wrote me, and she's going into a shared kitchen. She's very excited. She's been spending a long time getting ready to open up her ice cream parlor, and she threw a bit of a zinger question at me. She says that I have a certain amount of space in the shared kitchen. I need a refrigerator to store my dairy blend when it comes from the dairy, but it's got to fit under a window. Well, that's going to be kind of tough, and I don't think she means something up way high. She gave me the dimensions, and basically she's talking about a low counter refrigerator. Those are pretty hard to come by. But there is one company that specializes in that, and they usually call them bar refrigerators because they're underneath the top of the bar. Good idea. And that's Beverage Air. Beverage Air makes a whole line of under-counter refrigerators. You can look there. They will be commercially priced, meaning it's not going to be something inexpensive. Another alternative would be to try to find someplace else to put the refrigerator or hide the window, and that people don't think of, and that is instead of buying a commercial mixed storage box for $2,000 or $2,500, go to Lowe's or Home Depot, and they often have refrigerators. Frigidaire makes one that has no freezer compartment up top. It's all refrigerator. Mm-hmm. I think they were designed for fraternity houses and frat boys like myself, where you fill the whole thing up with beer. So that's available. But after I thought of all these great ideas and did all this research, it occurred to me, it's a shared kitchen. There's people in there who are doing baking and all sorts of other stuff. They probably have a walk-in refrigerator for everybody to store the dough and other stuff. So ask the management before you buy anything, can I rent space, because they're not going to do it for free, can I rent space in your walk-in refrigerator? That's going to be your simplest way. It's going to have a lot of room for expansion. You won't have to worry about how often the mix is delivered. Talk to them first.
That's some good points. I get asked a lot, what do we teach at our seminars, and what does Jeff teach at his boot camp? So that's a very good question. Our seminars, if you've ever seen our YouTube videos, which I'm sure most of you have, but for those that haven't, we go over the industry. We talk about ice creams and gelatos and flavors, how to make a flavor, how to run the machines, the do's and the don'ts of the industry, the ins and the outs. And of course, you get to see Steve in person and me and Jeff. So that's and Sammy and Stella and everybody else in the office over there. And, so it's a really good time. And, we go over a lot of things about the industry. And Jeff's class is a hands-on, but it's only a one-day thing. So it's not, both days are hands-on. And you get to actually work with the machines, our Emory Thompson, the 24 quart, and get to, run the machine from there. So that's what we do at the two different classes. If you want to sign up for ours, our next one is February 8th, but we're completely booked. So come see us in April or any of the dates after that. Just give me a shout and I'll sign you up. If you want to reach out to Jeff for his, just reach out to me and I can give you his email, or it's xhippie@aol.com, and that's xhippee@aol.com.
And I think our next dates after this sold out one are going to be June, August, and October.
April, June, August, and October. Yeah.
So plenty of time to get in there. We have a lot of fun, and I think you'll have fun too. Plus, you get a ton of ice cream to eat and a free lunch. So not a bad deal. We do charge for the class, but not a lot, not like all the other classes. A question that is a problem of my own making, and that is when we came down here to Florida, one thing I noticed is that there weren't a lot of ice cream parlors in Florida compared to the New England area. And it took me a long time to figure it out, but it was because we New Yorkers and Bostonians and all the rest of the people from that area come down with their high fat content ice cream mentality, 14, 16%, sometimes 12. And that doesn't work in a hot climate like this. It makes you sweat, gives you a stomach ache. So I came up with the idea of let's run 10%. 10% is the federal minimum to still call it ice cream. Below that, it has a strange name called ice milk, which nobody has ever heard except me.
Yeah, I haven't.
But I created my own monster because we're always talking about using a 10% mix. And people call up and say, where do I get a 10% mix in Oshkosh, Wisconsin? And oh my gosh, the people up there would just look at you if you use something that low. It's terrible. I mean, they are cow country. And so the point is, depending on where you are in the country, is the fat you'll run. You're not going to run just 10% like we do in Florida or maybe Louisiana or Texas. But when you get into the colder climates, the fat content's going to rise up. So the best way to check it is to just look in the supermarket and see what fat contents are selling. Like Talenti ice cream is one of my favorites. That's going to be a higher fat. But there's a lot of other different ones that as you get into colder climates, the fat level will go up. And heavy cream is about 29 to 31% fat content. So when you see a recipe in Better Homes and Garden and it says use heavy cream and sugar and vanilla, that's going to be an awful ice cream. It's just going to be so laden with fat.
Yeah, and greasy. It'll be a greasy texture, and it won't be very palatable. It's not a good. Sarah had asked a good question, too. She says, I have a few dairy-free ice cream options at my store, and I have toppings for my other ice creams, but I need a good alternative for my dairy-free. Pretzels, peanuts, those are good choices if you do want to have toppings at your store. But Mommy's Gelato or Mammy's Gelato, you all know how they have their dairy-free mixes. They have 4 different choices. You mix it with water. Well, they have a great vegan caramel sauce where it's coconut cream, brown sugar, cornstarch, and salt, which is optional. So they had came out with this. It complements one of their almond ice, which is almond-based, dairy-free, and so it goes really well with. It's a nutty background, and then you have Frocoanut that has a coconut background. Then you have an oat-based, which is no background at all, so that can pretty much go with cookies and anything else like that. But the vegan caramel sauce, if you'd like that recipe, just reach out, and I can get you in touch with Fenor at Mammy's Gelato. They're great company, great people to get some dairy-free options as well if you don't currently serve it. If you do, then this would make a great topping for it.
And if you're not selling dairy-free as an option in your store, you really are missing the boat, because there is an age group from 41 down to about 17 that absolutely loves dairy-free, and you don't want to be turning that big a market away. It's going to be, and is, a trend, not a fad, but a real trend in the industry.
And you don't have to have 15 flavors of dairy-free. Just 2 to 4 is okay.
Yeah, that's plenty.
Yeah, it's more than plenty.
My last one is the steps to making ice cream. How exactly do you make ice cream? Well, I could talk for hours about that, but it's really pretty simple, and I'll break it down from an equipment standpoint. So first we need the dairy blend. That comes from a dairy, and it consists of milk, cream, sugar, and powdered skim milk. That's what most of these blends are. It's put together by professionals at the dairy, and that's your basis. If you were a bakery, you'd be buying flour, and that would be the basis of your birthday cake, let's say. So we're buying the blend. It doesn't have any flavor in it, but it's ready to go. We're going to add vanilla. We're going to add Oreo cookies, and that's delivered. It's called a white mix because it's white in color, and that's going to be delivered to you maybe once or twice a week. And so you have to store it in a refrigerator that we call a mix storage box. The whole bag of blend is called mix, M-I-X. So you need a mixed storage box. So we already just talked about where to get that. From there, it's going to go to the Emory Thompson batch freezer. You're going to pour it into any one of our batch freezers. You're going to add the vanilla or the cookies or the lavender syrup to get your flavor. Whatever flavor you put in there is what the flavor of the ice cream will be. And then when you're all finished,
30 seconds.
When you're all finished, you're going to put it into a storage freezer that goes to a very cold temperature. And that can be a Kelvinator or Sears, Home Depot freezer, or the hardening cabinet that we sell that goes to 25 below zero. So that's basically the steps. The only other thing you need is a 3-compartment sink.
That's it.
That's it. We're getting the word from on high that we have run out of time, and so we will see you next week. Thank you very much.
Goodbye,
Bye.
guys.